All right, United is set to lose another player. A hijack, looks like, has been launched for Richard Rios. Even the previous summer, United was linked to this Colombian international. And again, this time round, after looking good in the FIFA Club World Cup while playing for Palmeiras, if you watched that tournament that is ending this Sunday, then you obviously know how good and this player is in the names of Richard Rios. Smash like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on the stories that we do upload in here on a daily. The MVP of the Serie A, formerly a player of United and an academy graduate, Scott McTominay, has finally come out and had something to speak. And then lastly, we have something to say about the new jersey for the club of Manchester United. So smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, please and please and please subscribe. Now, Richard Rios was linked to Manchester United. You know that very well. Last summer and even this summer, we went ahead, obviously, get a source from Alfredo Pedula, one of the credible journalists coming in through from Portugal, informing us that Man United are showing serious interest in 25-year-old midfielder Richard Rios. This is one to watch closely. That is what we're gonna hit. That's what we're going to get from Alfredo Pedula. And we all know that United has always gone ahead looking for central midfielder. Then Fabrizio Romano, on the 7th of July, he told us that Inter Milan and the AS Roma have both reached out to Palmeiras for Richard Rios in the recent days as midfield target. Request from Brazil club is 30 million euros. Now, if you watched Richard Rios play, I tell you what, he looked exceptional. I tell you, Richard Rios looked exceptional in the into the FIFA Club World Cup. You know, he really looked an exceptional player, and I wish I could even get his stats in here, and you people understand how this guy, how good he is, and how good he looked in the tournament that is really ending very, very soon in what we call the FIFA Club World Cup. He is a player that can play as a CDM and can play as a box-to-box midfielder. That's how good he is. His strength, direct free kicks and long balls. Weaknesses, he has no outstanding weakness as a player. It shows you that he's a player that has gone ahead to obviously look really, really, really good. Now, in the FIFA Club World Cup, he played 5 games and he played 472 minutes. 0 goals, and he had 2 assists onto his name, into that general perspective as a player. So that is Richard Rios for you in 2025. And he went ahead to put in performances that were really very, 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 very good and very catchy, to an extent that teams like Inter Milan, that we are never close to getting him, and Roma have gone ahead to show interest. And this is where we get it wrong. He's 25 years of age. I think there is a player in him, because we've gone ahead to see players flying or being bought direct from South America to come in through to the Premier League and really shock the world in as far as their performances are really concerned. For example, we saw Julian Alves from River Plate coming in through straight at Man City, and he really did wonders. You understand? You know, not very many examples, but I know Richard Rios' quality. He can obviously come in through and really complement that double pivot of Manchester United. If you tell me you're having Casemiro, Manuel Ugarte, and then Richard Rios into that, I'll be 100% sure that our midfield is really strong, because he's good on the ball, his technical abilities are really undoubted, and I think he is really a talent of a player. And if we miss out on him, you know, maybe 2 seasons later, you might find United going in for Richard Rios for £60 million, a player that would have gone ahead to get him through for £23 million from Brazil. And Moise Caicedo, You know, that scenario of Maurice Caicedo really baffles me every time I really think about it. And I just relate it to this guy, Richard Rios, because Maurice Caicedo was available for less than £10 million, and United were like, we're not obviously going to be signing him. Even if we were not ready to sign him or to really put him into the first team, would have gone ahead, obviously, get that player at Man United, loan him to Brighton or any other team, and would have gone ahead to be running the show in the midfield of Man United right about now. Even Richard Rios, I think for him is really more experienced than Moise Caicedo, but all in all, I want to let you know that he's a very good player, and if at all he slips through our hands, I won't really feel okay with him because, sorry with the ball, because if you want to bring in another player, it can be João Paulinho, you know, but I don't think that he matches with the dream of the club, signing players not older than 26 years of age. You get? So, Richard Rios is one of those players that Inter Milan and AS Roma are there to hijack. A player that we've been scouting for the previous 2 years. So, he's there and we're waiting to see how things pan out for the player, but clubs have gone ahead, obviously, line up for the player. Now, from there, let's obviously get to Scott McTominay, and McTominay has the following to say. I always want the absolute best for Manchester United. It's been my life for 22 to 23 years for me. I wish the club all the success in the world, and I'll be with him every step of the way. I want them to do well. So, he's speaking this because after he left Man United, he went ahead to win what we call a Scudetto in the Serie A, and he was named the MVP of the league. And very many people now know what it means to obviously be an MVP. And for me, it was like I really went ahead to do the right prediction of it all, because I told people that if this guy leaves Man United and goes to Italy, he's obviously gonna be like prime Makelele, prime which other player can I really relate him with? Because he is good, but he is not the solution to the club of Manchester United. We needed someone better. In the Serie A, players really lack what we call, the league really lacks competitiveness and what we call intensity. That's why he can obviously thrive there. And he's a very good goal scorer. And we've always told people that McTominay already thrives as a box-to-box midfielder. And guess what? Antonio Conte got it right, and he was like, this player will thrive in my system of 3-5-2, playing either ahead of the two players playing the double pivot, or playing or sharing the role with one of the other players playing the double pivot. And he really went ahead to put in performances that we all said the lad is back on fire. So that is it for Scott McTominay, and he wishes Manchester United the best. Obviously, he love United because he has been at Man United for some years, from the academy to where he is right now, and it's all United that laid that foundation that he is on right about now at the club of Manchester United. Now, it's official that Man United will obviously come up with what we call, will release the away kit on 16th July 2025. And most of you are really asking yourselves that you know the color, but how does it look fully? This is how the jersey of United is obviously going to be looking fully. And there you go. There you go. That's our kit, white in color, but Snapdragon looks like it's really having some little black in it. And I think it's obviously going to be a very good jersey for us to don. And with limited games to play this season, no Champions League, not in Europe, I think it will be on few occasions that will obviously wear this jersey, especially when you're playing against Liverpool away, because they don in red, Brentford away, they don in red, Sunderland away, they don in red, Arsenal away, they don in red, Bournemouth away, they don in red, You know, which other team really dons in red? You know, Nottingham Forest also really has some red on it. So that might be the jersey that will obviously be playing in such moments. So guys, your thoughts on to Richard Rios to United transfer hijack are welcome in the comment section below. And who is to blame for us losing out on this transfer? Bye bye for now. Good morning.